Hi, I'm Mo Poplar, producer of the Light Eater podcast.
And I'm Matt Conant, writer of the Light Eater podcast, and I was in it too.
If you haven't already, check out our podcast that takes place in the world of Candela Obscura on this channel.
And if you have checked it out, we're going to tell you how to play your own game of Candela Obscura.
How to play Candela Obscura.
Candela Obscura is a tabletop role-playing game where players play members of Candela, a secret organization committed to keeping the people safe and the terrors of old at bay.
Candela has strong Call of Cthulhu vibes and is a Forged in the Dark game built off the innovative Blades in the Dark engine to be easy to game master, easy to get to the table, and fast to the fun.
So the last two episodes of the podcast, The Light Eater, is a story set in the world of Candela Obscura and is based on a sample adventure that's actually in the rulebook. The adventure is called The Light Eater of Bridleborn.
So if you pick up the Candela Obscura game, you can play the same scenario yourself.
What drew us to giving Candela the storytelling treatment is A, we love the world, and B, we're big fans of horror podcasts like Old Gods of Appalachia.
And today, we're going to tell you our approach to running a Candela Obscura game.
We're going to start with the setting.
What's the world? Candela's weird. It's like this 1880s to 1920s world. Low-tech industrialization that has some high-tech that's probably made of magic.
It's a world on the cusp of a technological explosion, and a lot of the technology is scary. Some of it is horrific.
The main location is the city of Newfair, which is a hopeful and economically booming city.
The problem is that Newfair is built on the ruins of Old Fair, which was destroyed and decimated by evil magic.
So just built a new city on top. What could go wrong?
So big magic and technology was used to sort of keep the evil magic of Old Fair out of New Fair. But some of that magic is profitable and alluring to the powers that be.
So when you're playing in the world of Candela Obscura, first of all, the world is inclusive. It's a magical world, so you don't have to really deal with racism or gender unaffirming culture or, anything that's culturally like weird. Candela is not burdened by real history.
Yeah, the tone of it is a little bit steampunk, a little bit gothic horror. So think shows like The X-Files or Fringe or Lovecraft Country or The Umbrella Academy, or movies like Harry Potter or like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes. Basically, every mission plays out a little bit like a police procedural. So you can play the heroes keeping the world safe or sort of more Machiavellian forces that want to profit from the world's inevitable decline.
You can play games that have political problems, like political conspiracies that need to be exposed, high-level corruption that needs to be shut down, or you could deal with relics that appear or go missing, causing all these problems.
You'd also be dealing with crime. So whether it's you or someone else trying to make a profit, or whether you're stopping the bad guys, or often retrieving the goods, which might be some sort of mystical, ancient, evil artifact.
There are tons of adventure threads like rescuing people who get lost, dealing with scary, spooky stuff, exploring Old Fair, or, shock and awe muscle enforcers like Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones vibes.
But you'll also be dealing with domestic situations. So you might be saving citizens from haunted objects or renegotiating deals with the devil that somebody made without thinking it through, or rescuing innocent victims of all of this magic that is permeating the place.
But first, you got to make a character. So we got to talk about the character types.
You first pick an archetype, and then you pick a sort of special ability within that archetype, and then you're almost ready to play.
For example, we got the journalist, the messenger, the reporter, the people person.
You have the magician, who's a talented entertainer using intuition and playing tricks.
The explorer, the fearless daredevil, the navigator.
The soldier, more of the trained fighter, if you want to play a combat person or a strategist.
You got the doctor, the physician, the chemist, the healer.
or the professor. This is more of the learned critical thinker, the historian.
You got the criminal, who's the outlaw, the lowlife. He's streetwise.
And the detective, who is more the part of the law, or perhaps even a private investigator, the sleuth, social butterfly.
There's the medium, the psychic, who talks with spirits, the necromancer.
And the occultist might be the fortune teller, the lore giver, or the spellcaster.
As a GM, you can make up one-shot recipes. For example, if you have a journalist and a soldier in your game, maybe you could run a game that's like a messenger with a bodyguard storyline.
Or if you have players who are a doctor and a criminal, for example, you might have a plot about procuring medicine or asking, what is this thing that I stole?
You have the medium and the explorer, which make a good adventure that's the muscle and the mystical investigator.
Or the journalist and the magician might mean having like sort of the trickster and the reporter.
If you have a detective and occultist in your game, you could play a game where the investigators are solving occult crimes.
The journalist and the criminal might mean you're walking the line between what's legal and what's right.
If you have a doctor and a detective in your game, you could be the forensic TV show that like has the plot line of something supernatural.
Or if you were the soldier and the explorer, you might end up just being bulls in the crystal shop, people solving magical problems with their fists.
First, you got to build your circle.
Your circle is your crew, your team, the Candela outfit that you work for.
Each circle has a specialty that benefits the party.
So when you're starting your game, you pick that specialty.
Specialties include stamina training.
Nobody left behind.
We're in this together.
Interdisciplinary.
Resource management.
And one last run.
Check out the rule book for more info on the mechanical benefits that these specialties give you and your circle.
And then there are also the mechanics of the game.
Now, we're not going to get too deep into the mechanics of Candela Obscura, but in short,
Candela uses a dice pool system. So your skills tell you how many dice you are adding to an overall pool.
You roll the dice, and your highest die determine if your action is a success, mixed success, or a failure.
So the consequences of an encounter could go either way, including
illumination or experience if you survive your encounter with the unknown.
Or in the case of a failure, you might experience body, brain, or bleed marks as the residual damage and even scars that you take, dealing with unimaginable horror.
In closing, check out Candela Obscura.
Learn more about the world, the history.
Make some characters, build your circle, play your own game with your friends.
It's super fun, can vouch. And if you've gotten this far in, we're pretty sure you're going to enjoy it.
Bye.